Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, 08, and this is the Ramsey Show After Show, episode number 586. And I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and if you, yes, you are having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And for my financial content, just scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist and the music playlist that has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including, what would be a good one? Baby Steppin'. Yeah, let's see, what's that bridge? If you pay cash instead of lease, then your wealth will be increased. If you pay cash instead of lease, you can have financial peace, something like that. So anyway, that's based on Dua Lipa's Levitating, but it's baby stepping in this case. So listen to those songs if you are so inclined, and if you think you can sing it better than me, give it a shot and send it to me and maybe I'll play it on here. Market report. Okay, and the market was down when we last left it yesterday morning. But throughout the day, it did go back up, and it was a new S&P and NASDAQ high. And today, Dow Jones high. A new record for them as August inflation data, I'm assuming, goes up. And so that means people, well, why don't we check? Why don't we check instead of me just speculating? August inflation increase likely won't derail Fed probably rate cut. That's probably what it said, just like I thought. So people betting on rate cut, and so, which of course, if you're following the Ramsey advice, none of what's going on in the news at all affects you buying. You constantly buy out of every paycheck, regardless of whether it's up or down. You would still do that. Is that? Yeah, and the since the S&P and NASDAQ are up as well, that would be new records for them today as well. Now the Russell small cap does have an issue keeping up with its big brothers, although it looks close. It looks like right there was the high. Right there. It says 2437 and it's a 2409 now, so perhaps it could get up there by the end of the day. And so it's close, so you can't really complain about that. Some people will, though. Some people complain about anything. Let's see what the rest of the planet is like. Everything up in Europe, almost all up in Asia. US dollar, since it's an up day in the market, normally it would be a down day for the US dollar. Let's see, Euro's up over the US dollar. Japanese yen up over the US dollar. British pound wins slow. And the Canadian dollar, they're not sorry. And the Australian dollar. So yeah, clean sweep for the rest of the planet against the US dollar, and that is normally how it goes. So that's not I don't consider that's not really a loss there because that's the way it seems to be most of the time when the market is up. And I'm not a financial scholar or theorist or anything like that. So I'll be the first to tell you I don't know. It's just a pattern that I noticed. And everything seems to be fine. I know there's a lot of strife in the world, of course, still, but as far as financially, everything seems to be decent. Of course, there's always going to be issues. But your issues are better if you follow the Ramsey advice and don't have any debt. Then guess what? You don't have as much stress about everything else financially involved. Meta just barely down. And the Google down 0.31%. So, but other than that, what is that? NASDAQ up 0.59. And a rare day where it's up less than the S&P 500. Let's see if there's any fun stories. That's Dow leads S&P 500, NASDAQ higher. As CPI inflation, consumer price index is what that is. Inflation, jobless claims data set stage for Fed, right? And all of that is saying that they should lower the rate, but they don't like to be proactive on anything, so no telling what they'll do. And you shouldn't count on that. You wouldn't count on that for your investing anyway. People are nutty by doing that. You would be investing anyway. American farmers, China is using as a trade war bargaining chip, according to Wall Street Journal. New York Times and high profile closings, Los Angeles restaurant, tours, see trouble. Well, yeah. Los Angeles, dying. I mean, nothing films in Los Angeles anymore because it's too darn expensive. They get kickbacks and such by going elsewhere to do their filming. Fox Business, do not drive recalls jump more than 65% since summer 2024. Oh, do not drive recalls jump. Okay, I see. So the vehicles were recalled because of some kind of mechanical issue. I gotcha. Figured it out. Wall Street Journal again. The boss move for ordinary workers, hiring your own executive assistants. Okay, probably don't need to do that. And how can you afford to pay them if you're an ordinary worker? So a lot of questions on that. Not enough to click on it, of course, but interesting. A couple look to downsize into a condo on Long Island's North Shore. Okay, you remember back in the day when, in my day, it would say a couple look to downsize into a condo on Long Island's North Shore to find blah, 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 blah. And, now with the clickbaitiness of, on your Instagram reels or whatever, YouTube thumbnails even, it would say a couple look to downsize into a condo on Long Island's North Shore. Then this happened. So, but we get nothing there. So, I don't know what that's all about. More Fox Business. Tech Titan says Trump administration really protective on keeping American AI leadership ahead. Okay, well, can understand that. Oh, not protective, proactive. My bad. And so, yes, proactive, it can be good sometimes, despite what the Fed thinks. Alphabet's Verify covered up HIPAA violations, whistleblower says in lawsuit. Well, that's going to happen. Lawsuits, I mean. So, no telling if that's true or not. some companies, they don't stay on the straight and narrow. Court rejects Verizon claim that selling location data without consent is legal. Yeah, I don't know why Verizon would say that. Or more likely Verizon's lawyers, but still, what would they be basing that on? Oh, well, you see, when you start a Verizon account there, you're agreeing to, have this happen and this happen and this happen. And one of those byproducts of those things is selling location data. Who knows? And the NVIDIA check of the day, 0.37%. Alrighty, let's get into some questions. Keeps going up. Has gone up since first started looking at this page. Educational and career expenses. Myself, 32 man. RN. I read this one already. My 32 paramedic. I read that one already. My bad. Good place for emergency fund. What's a good place to put your emergency? What's a good place to put your emergency? Forgot the word fund there. To get a decent return and still remain liquid. Ours is a money market account earning less than 1%. So it's fine with Mr. Ramsey, apparently, if you put it in a high yield savings account. The problem with that, though, is that it generally is not going to be somewhere in your hometown, and it takes 1 to 3 days to do a transfer. And guess what? Often, maybe it's the husband that takes care of this, or it could be the wife, either one. But then what if the one that knows how to get access to that is the one in a coma? Then it doesn't do any good to have it there, or you can't get it immediately like that. And maybe you don't need it. I've heard that argument as well, that, well, you don't always need the money immediately. Yeah, but for some things you might. And so I prefer it to be more liquid than 1 to 3 day transfer, because emergencies don't wait that long. The King's Kid 2003 is Chime's credit builder against the Ramsey plan. Well, building credit is. I mean, it's something you should not be concerned with. You don't need a credit score for anything in America. You do not need it. I've just recently got a checking account with Chime. Why don't you Chime? Chime won't let me. Oh no. And saw the credit builder card and was intrigued. Looking into it, definitely look into it. It seems like I can't go into debt. It is prepaid balance with no fees or interest, and it works like a debit card, except that they report purchases to credit bureaus to build credit. Is anyone tried the card before, and would it be something that I could do while remaining debt free? You can, but it wouldn't be advised. There's no need to build credit. And you also don't want to get in a situation probably where you're halfway in between having good credit, a good credit score, and it being indeterminable because you haven't interacted with debt in many, many, many years. And so you don't want it to be in the middle either, though. So I don't see the point of trying to build credit. So, and I don't know why that's so important to people, other than the fact that it is marketed like H to us. Billions of dollars spent marketing debt and credit score, etc., etc. The main reason I ask is because I'd like to buy a house soon, but wouldn't be able to afford to pay in full, so I'd need a mortgage which requires credit or at least a record of payments. Yeah. Such as rental utilities, and I refuse to go into debt, obviously. Well, you have the record of payments, right? Such as rent or utilities. So what do you need the credit score then? Again, I would ask. What would Dave do? Dave would not be concerned about the credit score. Because in America you can buy a house, get a mortgage with manual underwriting. Lucas Jackson, 67. Where does a real estate entrepreneur fit in at? What do you mean? This forum has a lot of good ideas, but as a real estate guy, I feel out of place as I need to have debt. No, you don't. No, you don't. See, by having debt, you know what you're doing? You're doing it wrong. Okay, that's business stuff, and you don't get a mortgage on business stuff. You're doing it wrong, is the simple answer here. 30 comments. So hopefully someone just told him, oh, you're just doing it wrong. You see, you don't go to the Ramsey advice and then try to make your life fit in it. You change your life to match the Ramsey advice if you would like to follow it. If you would not like to follow it, you don't have to. And you also don't need to ask where you fit in it. Nutty. People are so nutty. Why can't you figure that out yourself? It's no debt. You don't have to listen to them long to know that there's no debt. You do not do any business stuff with debt, which means you don't get mortgages on rental properties, you dumbass. Leather Cockroach 323, financial advice, 20 years old. Hello everyone, I'm 20 years old and just got a new car loan. Shouldn't have done that. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Were you not aware that Mr. Ramsey was anti-debt? Did you not know that? Let's see, it is about 35K, student loans about 25K, and credit card is less than 1K. I'm about to be a LVN, I'm assuming some kind of nurse. In California, starting pay roughly about 35 to 40 an hour. I'm willing to work hard and long hours to be financially free. Why would you have just gotten a new car loan if you wanted to be financially free? That's dumb as crap. Should I pay my car off quickly or pay off a decent amount? About 12 to 15K. See, what kind of dumbness is this? I mean, well, I'm going to pay a little bit off and then do what? And sell it back to not be upside down on the loan. No, what you would do would be to sell it immediately and you just eat the stupid tax, and hopefully it teaches you to not be a dumbass any longer. Should I pay the minimum of student loans for the time being? Yes, while you get out of the car. But you don't pay off a decent amount, about 12 to 15K. Why would you have to pay off 12 to 15K of it before you're not upside down in it? How much did it depreciate immediately after you got it? And this, of course, would be why you don't finance cars anyway. I plan on giving myself about a year to be financially free so I can go back to advance my career. What do you mean, back to school? Again, let's see. I feel like I messed up. You did. You did by getting the car loan, and you knew darn well it wasn't a good idea, and you did it anyway. That was dumb. So young, getting a new car. Yeah, and it seems somewhat not worth it anymore. It was never worth it. You were just a dumbass. Which at 20 years old, I was a dumbass too. So I get it. Please help me with any advice. Stop being a dumbass. I mean, at 20 years old, I was not in the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Granted, when I was 20, there was no Reddit, probably. I don't know when it started, but I'm assuming it wasn't a Reddit in any type of form. In my day, we didn't have the internet. Peace in the wind. Paying down mortgage or saving for inevitable future expenses. It depends on what the expenses are. So my favorite example for that would be like a sinking fund for new tires, because tires do wear out and you need some, but if you are not going to need them for 5 years, you don't need to start saving for that now. You would be putting most of your money into the mortgage, all of your extra money, because you are supposed to be doing baby steps 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time once you get to step 4. Need advice about how to save for future while also working baby step 6. You don't. Your saving for the future would be the retirement investing that you're doing, 15% of gross income, and that's all you're doing. You're not adding to the emergency fund. You're not having a brokerage account. You're not doing any of that crap. You're paying off your mortgage faster. Our second vehicle is old, 2005. So is mine. I don't have any kind of extra savings for a new car. So you don't need to do that. And was in need of several important repairs. So if you've done several important repairs, then that means it should last longer. You're being nutty. Those repairs total over $6,000, which is more than my husband thinks the vehicle is worth. Okay, but you've done them now. See, maybe you shouldn't have done that. If you thought the car was getting too old, you can declare, sometimes you can declare a time of death on the car and say, oh, it's not worth repairing, so I will take that $6,000 and just buy a new to me car for that $6,000 instead of getting those repairs done. So we did the most essential repairs that cost $2,000 and haven't fixed the other things, even though they are important for safety. Are they though? If they're important for safety, you should probably do them. We only need a second vehicle 2 to 3 times a month since I'm a stay-at-home parent. Then maybe you rent a car then. Maybe you try to lower that from 2 to 3 times a month to 1 time a month. And then you work it out so that both people that need the vehicle can have access to the vehicle. Or you get a ride from a friend or something like that. You try to work it out like that. And you shouldn't buy anything for 2 to 3 times a month. Should not do that. Not anything expensive like that. Like a vehicle. Stay-at-home parent to our toddler, and he works from home. Why do you need 2 vehicles? People are nutty. So we only drive the Camry those couple times a month and hope it will last a while yet. Yeah. I mean, fine. Keep it then. Keep it then until it dies, and then if you need to at that point, you can just do without it at that point. But if there's no payment on it, if you don't have any car payments, which you shouldn't if you're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, which you're asking about paying down the mortgage, you wouldn't be paying extra on it while you had car debt. So assuming that that's true, you don't owe anything on the car. So why is this difficult? Why could you not arrive at this yourself? I mean, I know Ramsey's advice is unorthodox and not like normal people think. But again, you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, so theoretically you should know more than the average person. However, it doesn't have to last forever. It's for you to use 1 or 2 times a month. And so, yeah, I'm saying combine trips or whatever you have to do to make that vehicle not necessary. And then, hey, then maybe you can even sell it. If you find you're not using it at all, then you can sell it. How about that? Before it dies. We may need a second vehicle more often as our family grows. How about you get pregnant with a second child first and then worry about a second vehicle, needing a second vehicle more often. People want to plan and have everything in place for things that are years and years down the road, and that's just nutty. And it does say baby step 6 flare here there. So guess what? One of your priorities, like your major priority, should be in baby step 6. It'd actually be baby step 4, because 4, 5, and 6 you do all at the same time. So that investing, it takes priority over the paying down the mortgage, paying extra on the mortgage, but you would do that with any money left over after, if you are putting money away for kid college, that's step 5. So after that one, and the retirement investing in step 4, any extra money beyond that should go to the mortgage and not towards a savings for a car that you do not need. You just want to have it for a possible future baby. Future babies are not guaranteed to happen. And so you do not need to have a second car for a baby that may never happen. Flat bid, 1228, 7.5% market returns needed to beat 6.25% mortgage rate. We're not doing the beating the mortgage rate. You're paying off the house and not debt leveraging to invest more. You don't keep the mortgage around to invest more. You're doing it wrong. So I'm not even going to read this dumb paragraph, because this, again, Mr. Ramsey is not only the no debt guy, he's the no debt leverage guy. And so this is your standard financial bro advice here, where this person wants a 1.25% difference between the mortgage rate and the market returns. So being nutty, maybe trolling, who knows? Who knows? Or, who knows? Who knows why these people do this? Head struggle, hot take. Dave Ramsey should have a dating app where like-minded people can find each other. There is absolutely no upside for him to do that. There's no upside. Things can just go wrong. So there is no upside for him to try to bring people together. That you want to meet people that you're like-minded with, take an FPU class, Financial Peace University class, in person in your town. It'll probably be at a church, so maybe at your church. If your church doesn't have it, maybe tell them to offer it. And that's where you can meet like-minded people, in an FPU class. And that is of course, is not a dating app. By having a dating app, you are just inviting trouble, and Mr. Ramsey doesn't need that. So a lot of people have suggested this. A lot of people type this in the Ramsey Show chat, but it's dumb as crap. There is no upside for Mr. Ramsey on this. And I don't know if you know that, but Mr. Ramsey only spends money on things that are tremendous upside for him. Other than the giving, of course. And when he bought all that debt, I think it was like, did he say it was like $2 million worth of debt? Of course, and he got it cheaper, like pennies on the dollar, I believe. But he bought a bunch of debt and had his staff got to, like, everybody that worked there got to call somebody and tell them their collections debt was settled. Baby steps and high earning friends. Hiker 9811. So you see, if you're on the baby steps and you have high earning friends that like to go and do high earning things, guess what? You don't get to go with them to do those things. That's a no. If they're going to go do something cheap, go to those things. People are nutty. Hi, my husband and I, 33 and 32, are admittedly Ramsey-ish. Well, then why are you asking the question in here? Why are you doing it? You don't want Mr. Ramsey's advice. Why would you want the advice of anybody else? You're just going to do your own dumb thing, apparently. We have mortgage, but no other debt, and we never finance things. Are generally opposed to consumerism, only generally. Anyway, we're chatting the other day about how we don't know anybody else who cares much about their finances, regardless of whether they are into Ramsey stuff or whatever else. Nobody we know seems to care about saving for retirement or just solving for peace, okay? Well, a lot of people are dumb in the world as well, so that's going to happen. It feels like, for me, everyone we know, regardless of income, it doesn't matter if you know people that are being smart about money or not. You should still be smart about money. Quit being dumb. Is drowning in debt and continuing to go further into unnecessary debt. Wait a minute. It feels like everyone we know, regardless of income, is drowning in debt and continuing to go further into unnecessary debt, despite frequently expressing worry and frustration about their finances. To some extent, we understand it with folks. No, there's no excuse for it. No, there's no excuse for it. And it doesn't matter how much they make, you can't out-earn stupidity. So that's a no. But what the people you know are doing does not have to mean you have to change what you're doing. So what is the point of this comment and or question here? Let's see. We understand it, but with folks who earn modest income, because we get that with people, we get that people want to enjoy their lives, but ... what is going on with the high earners? We are high earners ourselves, and our friends of similar incomes just do not care about saving or investing at all. They're being short-sighted. They can afford it right now, but eventually that lifestyle is not going to be sustainable. They're basically all drowning in student loans, credit card debt, too much house, too much car, never-ending door debt. I thought this was going to be about them trying to keep up with those high-earning friends. This is saying that they're doing it wrong, but being Ramsey-ish, you're doing it wrong too, so you're only a little bit better than they are. The other day I had a girlfriend who told me she used Afterpay or something like that for a $300 frivolous purchase. Her household income is around $500,000. Dumbass. So why finance a $300 purchase? I know somebody that got, or not somebody, but a bank customer got bought a candy bar and ended up having to pay a $35 overdraft fee on that dollar candy bar. They're just dumb. They're just not paying attention. And like you said, don't care. So I'm just wondering what other people have experienced. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people's friends have done. It only matters what you do. That's all that matters is what you do. Stop trying to compare yourself to other people or wonder, well, my friends are doing this. How do you react when your friends do? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Do you have many friends who are interested in investing or paying off debt and living financially modestly? I have both. I have people that are interested in doing that and people that aren't, that I do know and am friends with. But guess what? That doesn't affect anything. Why does it matter what the friends are doing? If you do have friends who are into personal finance, how did you meet them? Oh, you mean into friends that are being at least Ramsey-ish? Some of them I met through the Ramsey chat on YouTube, and otherwise through following Ramsey advice. But yeah, I want to know, why does it matter to you? I mean, why even bother? Because at the end of the day, you just need to do what you need to do, and it doesn't matter what your friends do. But maybe this is veiled in the having them as friends and Maybe they don't like them anymore because they're doing that. The same way I don't like these people because they're Ramsey-ish instead of doing everything exactly like Dave says. No, I don't hate them. I have plenty of Ramsey-ish friends and not anywhere near Ramsey World at all in their lives. What up, Aslan? They could host some events for single people. Who's that? Oh, Ramsey? Are you talking about the person that did the question? There's no upside for that to do single people events either, I don't think. No need to discriminate against non-single people. Hope it was a really good candy bar. Me too. I mean, sugar is great, obviously, but yeah, I don't think it would be worth $36. Should I sell my house? Normally, when people ask, this is going to be a solid yes, but let's see if it is or not. Sometimes you don't have to sell it. Help, we bought a house with both our salaries and take-home pays included. Now we have 2 kids and a third on the way, and wife wants to stay home. Beep, beep, beep. And so the fun thing here is that if you're normal, you got a 30-year mortgage to be able to afford the payment while both of you were working. How do you think that's going to work with only one income? How do you think that's going to work? It's not. Sell the freaking house. The new adjustment of mortgage to home pay will be about 45%, and that's too high, honey. I call the person honey, like Dave does. He's being condescending to them because they're being stupid. We use every dollar app for every purchase. Great. That doesn't change anything. That doesn't make the income higher. So nothing you type about the way you're living your life changes anything because it doesn't change the income. Now, if there's something like you're cutting that same amount of expenses, then maybe we can talk. We have no debt besides the house, and we have about 4 to 6 months of our emergency fund saved up. Great. Husband should be due for a raise. You don't keep a house because there might be a raise, because he's due for a raise. You don't do that. You don't stay in the house counting on a raise. Is the raise going to replace your salary entirely? Probably not. In the next few months, so the percentage would be less and more livable. Yeah, but it would still be closer to 45 than it would be to 25%, right? Stop being dumb. We're mostly worried about burning through an emergency fund. And, well, no, you don't burn through the emergency fund because not making enough money is not an emergency. That's not an emergency, so you don't use the emergency fund to keep keep this house that you can't afford. That's not an emergency. You sell the freaking house, and not having a way to restock it at the current what? About burning through an emergency fund and not having a way to restock it at the current take-home pay to mortgage ratio. That's right. What would Dave do? He would sell it in an instant. How do you not know that already? You know darn well that you should sell the house. You just don't want to. And I understand that, but it doesn't matter if you want to keep the house or not. I don't care about that. I care about you making your finances better, and that means move down in house. House is gone. Sorry. What up, Simply? For the guy wanting to meet Ramsey people, yeah, put on a Ramsey class at your church, and you will meet some people that are interested in following the Ramsey plan. That is correct, ma'am. House poor. Same question, basically. Quick contract 7861. Ask, what are the signs that show you are house poor? Well, when the amount of your payment is closer to 45% than 25%, that is what it is. Another thing that you can do, because guess what? If you remember, let's refer to the baby steps, shall we? Since I bothered to pull up the tab every day. So you do steps 4, 5, and 6 at the same time. For easiness sake, let's take step 5 out of it. Say there's no kids, or they decided not to help their kids with college. Either one. Step 5 is not in the equation. You're still supposed to do step 4 and step 5 at the same time, or step 6 at the same time, even if there is no step 4. So you would have to invest 15% of your household income, gross household income, into retirement. That 15% goes in there. Anything extra goes to the house. And now the problem would be if you cannot put 15% of your gross household income into retirement, and then also put, a decent amount, whatever you think decent may be, to the house. If you can only put $10, you only got $10 left, and you put that to the house, yes, that's better than nothing, but that could be a sign that you're house poor, and it probably is, because where the frick is your money going if you don't have any debt? Because all this is done, and you shouldn't be doing any extra saving because you only have your emergency fund outside of sinking funds. But where's the money going then? In that case, so also maybe eating out too much, etc., may have taken the foot off the gas once got to step 4. I don't know, but you should have money to put decent amounts to paying off the house early. And that average for baby steppers is 7 years to pay off a 15-year mortgage. So if you can't keep up with that, you might be a redneck. No, you might be house poor. That'd be a whole other line of jokes you could do. You might be house poor. I think I need the fear of God put in me to see the reality of our situation currently on baby step 3. Well, see, so you see, Mr. Ramsey does not make these steps and his advice difficult for you. He actually says in his guidelines that the house payment should be 25% on a 15-year fix. So if you have a 30-year mortgage at all, you're probably house poor. Or if you have a 15% and again, the mortgage amount is closer to 45 than 25, then you're house poor. He lets you know what the payment should be, so all you have to do is look at the payment percentage of your take-home income as well. So if it's more than that, you're house poor. What do I think, or what does Aslan think about cash stuffing? Cash stuffing is the envelope system, I think. But the kids today just wanted their own name for it. Get Schwitty or Schwifty. Get Schwifty. Father passed and mother has $40,000 in credit card debt from all of his medicine over the past years. HELOC or personal loan to pay off? Neither. You just pay off the debt, the credit card debt. Pay off the credit cards. Why do people think you always got to move it around? That's so dumb. Some mother looking for ideas right now. The best path forward. She has $40K credit card in debt they've been using for the last 5 to 10 years for my dad's ungodly expensive autoimmune disease medicines and whatnot. And I'm going to assume her name is on it, or she's otherwise tied to his estate. I guess, because married. Okay. He's just recently passed, and now I'm getting the financial information from my mother. The Social Security income now is about to be cut in half. She has 40K in credit card, debit cards ranging from 18 to 24% interest. We are now wondering if we should have her look at a HELOC. No, you do not borrow money to pay off debt. No. You do not tap the equity of a house until you sell the home completely. You're thinking about it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Pay off these high interest credit cards and possibly do a personal loan she can use to consolidate. It doesn't have to all be together. You can pay them off separately. Stop trying to do this normal people crap. Are there any lower interest options? The interest isn't the problem. The debt at all is the problem. And the more you're worried about it, theoretically, the faster you will pay it off. When you consolidate it, Mr. Ramsey calls it a consolidation because it makes you think you've done something and you relax and don't pay it off as fast. She is disabled, have $1,700 mortgage and all the bills, probably another $500. She's on a fixed income Social Security of $2,400. So you got $200 extra a month that you can put to that. Right now, total. Wait a minute. Our minimum payments right now total $1,700. On the cards, a month. All the bills, possibly another $500. Okay, when you said bills, you meant like utilities and stuff. So underwater, big time. So 1,700. So that's 3,400. So we're talking about a deficit here. So no way she's going to be able to afford the mortgage. I don't even know if she would get approved for some kind of moving it money or consolidation loan. Plus all of that with only one income. Now, yeah, I don't know if the credit to debt ratio may make her not be eligible for that. Essentially, their Social Security is cut in half while Dad died, right? She will not be using the cards anymore. It was only for my father's medicines that was bleeding them into this hole. She's getting a 30K life insurance. Death benefit, I'm assuming. They just said she's getting a 30K life insurance for him in the near future. Probably means getting the death benefit in the future here. But we aren't sure if she should use that to pay down the cards. Yes, any extra money goes directly to the cards, and then you would only have $10,000 of debt then. And that's much more manageable, for sure. Or bank it to help her live off of for now. No. She has to live somehow on her own, 2 feet without having 30K in savings that slowly whittles down, and then that'll be gone. And then what do you do after that? So you need to get the plan in place now for what you would do after that, and do that now instead of then. Because the 30K should go to the 40K credit card debt. We've also heard about utilizing a nonprofit that does some sort of debt consolidation. Don't do any of that crap. Or debt relief. No, because they're just gonna you're gonna pay them to take care of it, and they're just gonna let your payments fall delinquent. They're gonna keep the money that you pay them. They're not gonna send it to these debts. They're just gonna let it fall into collections. And if you want to do that, you can do that yourself, and then settle for less with them later. You can do it. But you don't need to do that because you got 30K coming in, and you can use that to get rid of all but 10K of the debt. And so the idea is to find out how she's going to live even after the 10K of debt is taken care of. But yeah, everybody always wants to run to the consolidation or refinancing or anything like that. Oh, boom. Any system to help them? Oh. She knows what it is. She was asking Coach thoughts on it. Oh, yeah. My thoughts on it is it didn't need another name, but I guess they wanted to have a different word for the TikTok, the hashtag on the TikToks and Instagrams instead of envelope system. Because envelope system probably would get you more to the Ramsey advice than their dumbass videos is probably why. So yeah, but no, kids always have to have their own names for stuff. It's just the way it goes. Mortgage question: don't debt leverage. Better not. Please don't be about debt leverage. Please don't be about debt leverage. Please don't be about debt leverage. Mortgage question: currently have 2.75%. Mortgage rate: I want to move to Florida when I get married to start over, and I will be debt free beside the house. Is it wise to sell this house? Yes. You do not keep a house when you move away. You don't all of a sudden, having never thought about being a landlord ever, and then all of a sudden you're moving, and then you want to, my ticker just, are we losing frames or something? Let's see. Sorry for the pause. 5.8% drop frames. Interesting. That's weird. I don't really have anything. I don't have like a game or anything running. Weird. Apparently you can hear me all right. Maybe it's a little laggy. Where we got moving the home when I get married to start over. Okay, so are we planning to get married soon? Do we know the person that you're going to get married to, or is this some far off plan that is dumb to be putting this much effort into right now if you don't even know the person that you're going to get married to in this scenario? But yeah, you don't all of a sudden, landlording is not for most people, especially when you don't even live in that state anymore. It's dumb as crap. And then trade off to a house with a significant increase in an interest rate. I do not have to put a down payment since I have a VA loan and it will not require me to pay PMI. Just wondering, this move will happen in a couple years, so we may get lucky with interest rates dropping again. Yeah, you sell it. You sell it, dude. Relax with your little vision of how life is going to go and trying to plan everything 2 years in advance. But, you know, shouldn't be a landlord. You don't keep real estate in another state. You know why? Because you'll have to pay somebody to manage it for you. And some people have a hard enough time making enough profit when they manage it themselves in the same city. And people have problems with it. So that's going to eat up most of your profit, if not all of it. So quit being dumb and doing that. Simply out, going to lunch. Yep, Aslan said, if you're moving to a new city, just sell the house. Still waiting on your picture. Yeah, well, yeah, I didn't take it yet. Will I? I'll try to do that after the stream. I'll try to remember to do that after the stream, and so that way I can just throw it up next time you're in the chat. I will be doing a after show tomorrow as well. 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. As soon as the new Ramsey show is over on YouTube. Oh, I finished that one. Do one more. Novel Vass 4679 budget. Need some advice on a budget. Stop spending money on anything. Do without the things that you can do without. I recently started contracting where I get paid every Friday and wife gets paid on the 15th and last day of the month. I used to get paid semi-monthly as well. Should I set aside my pay to match her cycle and just pay two bills 2 times a month? Use a column in my spreadsheet for every week. You are making it too difficult, more difficult than you need to make it. You can pay the bills at any time before they are due. So I don't know how you getting paid every Friday and her getting paid every 2 weeks is going to, or the 15th and the last day of the month. I don't know how that would upset your little apple cart as far as creating the budget and paying off your stuff, or paying, your expenses rather. Hopefully no debt. But set aside your pay to match her cycle. Why would you need to do that? When you're creating a budget, like in Every Dollar or something like that, it's going to have your monthly income. So it doesn't matter how often, how many different checks it comes in on. Yours will be in 4 or 5, and hers will be in only 2 per month. So it doesn't matter. It's just the amount of all of them together in Every Dollar. So other budget apps may do it differently. And as I've said many times, my budget is just a spreadsheet, and it's a future check register, basically. And so I have all the deposits coming in when they're coming in. So if I were doing yours, I would have every single time you get paid. So every single week, I would be adding money to the balance and having it in there. And then I also have every expense every time an expense comes up, or utility bill, etc. Anytime any of that comes up, I put a line item for that, and then I subtract all the stuff, all the groceries, all the insurance, car insurance, just whatever you can think of. When I'm fun stuff as well. When fun stuff is coming up, I rented a car to go see my daughter in the state up north a few weeks ago from Enterprise. No problem getting it with a debit card, by the way. So shut up, people that think you need to have a credit card to get one. You do not. So yeah, I put the money for that, budgeted the money for that as well, made that a line item. So it just goes in a row like that. But you in the Every Dollar app, you just would include all of that month in all of that month. And see, mine, I like mine because mine's even more in depth than that, because mine tells you exactly when it's due, so you know exactly when you need to pay it. And it's in like chronological order, the exact way that it needs to go. So that's why I like mine. Let's just do one more. 200K, and now I have options. You didn't have options at 199K? I don't get it. People are nutty with the way they phrase things. Decking Snowman. I've done the basic research. Who has gone down these paths? Of what? I've read several of these posts and already ahead of the basics, but I have some more pointed questions. Great. Home, $21.30 a month payment, $182K payoff, 3.14% interest. Value of home, $385K-ish. No plan to move. Okay. Vehicles, 3 of them, I guess. Wife's car payment, $700. My truck is paid off. I pay cash for 16-year-old truck. Total. Are you 2K? What is the 200K? If you have that in savings, you're doing it wrong. If that's the total amount of debt, you're also doing it wrong. Congratulations. Total $700 a month. Here's what's coming down the pipe. Oldest daughter is a junior in high school, doing incredibly well and lined up to get some nice scholarships, but we aren't counting on that as we are prepared for the worst, but hoping for the best. My question is, I have this cushion that fell into my lap and it's incredible timing, sad circumstances, no will death, estate sale, etc. I have a chance to put, oh, is that where the money came from? All right. I have a chance to put this to good use and have a few options I would like to discuss with people who may have taken these paths. Well, these paths, of course, would just be following the Ramsey advice, right? And so any extra money you get goes to whatever baby step you're on. And guess what, honey? Guess what baby step you're on? It's number 2. And so all of it goes to paying off the debt. You're not trying to do some dumbass investing instead of paying off your debt. Trying to do baby step 4 before baby step 2. And you shouldn't be doing that. That's doing it wrong. I could pay off the house, but I know that doesn't mean 2130 free every month. Why wouldn't it? Well, you still have to, part of that 2130 is insurance and taxes in your escrow account probably. So that's, but it will be most of it. I would imagine it would be at least 1700 of it every month. I have to save about 1200 a month to handle 1200. Okay, so yeah, 19, more like 1930 is what it would be then. Oh no, wait a minute. Wait, 1200 a month to handle tax, insurance, and then whatever else is needed, since I won't have the mortgage tax breaks. Okay. Okay, so that only means 930. Okay, this eliminates a burden, kinda, but leaves much less change for big investments. Well, you don't do big investments. See, that's your whole problem. You're trying to do financial bro crap here. And Mr. Ramsey is not a financial bro. Dump it all into stock market. That's no. And 3, I have several friends that flip homes. Yeah, you don't do that, you dumbass. That's a way to lose a lot of money. So yeah, you wouldn't do any of this stuff. You're on baby step 2, so you would pay off all your debt in baby step 2. And then if you have money left over, then you would use that for steps 3. And then, only then, is when you should start to invest. You shouldn't be investing now. You're doing everything wrong. And smart.
Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this.
Indeed.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
That's right. All right. So as I said, after show again tomorrow, Friday, the September 12th, and that will be 11:05 a.m. right after the Ramsey show is over, and George Sports having a bridge brokerage account. Yeah, if you insist on retiring early would not be the Ramsey advice, but you do need a bridge account to pay for your expenses during early retirement before you can get your hands on your actual retirement account. Yeah. Yeah, so that doesn't mean he's down with retiring early. So quit being dumb. Quit being dumb, and we'll read all of this crap to see if it's crap or if there's any points to be had in there. We'll see, but yes, he has talked about that before. And if you are retiring early, you need a way to keep yourself afloat until you can get the retirement funds out of your retirement accounts penalty free, which means 59.5. So if you're gonna retire at 50, then you need about a 10-year bridge brokerage account, and that's a lot of money, and so that's also why retiring early is not advised. Not sure what next steps to take. Well, they are listed, but maybe it's something that's like in between the baby steps or steps as part of one of the steps, maybe. Like it's the steps you take in step 2, maybe. So we'll have to find out about that. Hopefully it's not something dumb, but that's what I always expect. Pause on baby step 4. Please send advice. If you're on baby step 1, 2, or 3, you're not on baby step 4. Or if you're having a current emergency or pregnancy, yes, you would pause baby step 4 while you are in stork mode or storm mode. Yes, you would. Well, but I want to get the match. I don't give a crap. It's the advice is to pause step 4, investing. You pause that during any emergency or pregnancy. Small biz owner, buy house cash. Yes, you do not do anything with business on debt. How do I make money on my day off? My only day off? Find something you can do on just that day. Maybe something from home on your computer. Maybe just something, check Craigslist. Maybe something you can find there. Maybe do TaskRabbit or something like that. There's plenty of things to do. You could just Google this instead of asking people in the subreddit, but maybe, how many, 23 comments, maybe somebody pointed them in the right direction, or her. Question, not sure about it, but I want to become a financial advisor planner for people in debt. They don't need a financial planner. They need a financial coach, or at least to be pointed to the Ramsey advice. So you should be a financial coach in that regard, and not be a financial advisor planner, because they have debt. So you're thinking about it wrong, and maybe a troll, who knows. The debt playoff plan, and that is baby step 2, and you do that smallest to largest. I don't know what other instruction you need there, but we'll find out. New job, 401k help needed. All right, we'll see what that is. If that's what type, Roth 401k, or regular, the traditional, you would get the Roth, would be better. Or maybe it's just what to buy, what mutual funds to get for it. Who knows? Alrighty. Should I roll over funds from parent 529 to grandparent 529? You don't. Why need it? Why do that? Well, you like to keep things all together. There's no need to do that at all. Dumb. People like to go through unnecessary things just to have it a certain way. And that's dumb. Get out, move out of your box that you're painting yourself in. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. But first we do plugs. Forgot about it. Remembered though, so Dementia doesn't win today. If you would like me to tell you how you're doing it wrong, or you think you're having money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com. No, not anymore. You email me. My schedule changes too much to use a website. So just email me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, and we will work it out. Donations, there it is, right up there. Donations go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the CashApp at $CoachSteveMoney. It wasn't taken, or a Walmart gift card to that same email address. coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, and they are subject to change. I did not start the Star Wars Outlaws demo last night, so probably tonight. But the Ramsey Show Aftershow show, 11:05 a.m. Eastern. Today is Thursday. We did that one. And Friday, September 12th is the next one. And I'll have this updated for next week's list. Answering your financial questions streams at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Sunday, September 14th, plus a special 4 p.m. stream on Saturday, September 13th, because the Ohio State Buckeyes have a night game on this Saturday. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.